Today we're joined by UFC Welterweight Sam Patterson. Thanks for coming on talkSPORT MMA.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So you'll be fighting Danny Barlow on March 1st in Vegas. How's your preparation going for this one?
Yeah, it's good. It's tough. To be honest, I was training. I'm always training, but I was helping out a couple of my teammates get ready for a fight before Christmas, and then obviously I got the fight to fight on March 1st instead of the London card, and I just rolled it through straight after Christmas, the New Year. Started picking things up, and yeah, preparation's going good. We're about halfway through now. Got 4 weeks left, and yeah, I'm feeling good, to be honest. I'm putting all the work in. That's all I can control, and yeah, I'm ready for March 1st.
Are you planning on going around to some other gyms and doing some training around the UK, or are you gonna be at your main base?
Yeah, I have been for this camp. I go up to Birmingham once a week to train at Renegade. So I'm there once a week, which is amazing. Great team. And obviously got my team as well that I'm preparing with. So it's like a perfect link for me to travel up to Birmingham once a week, but also stay with my team and get people to come in. So that's what I've been doing the last 2-3 camps, to be honest. That's what I've been doing every time. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, and your opponent Danny Barlow is 9-0, a fellow Contender Series graduate. How do you see the fight going?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight. It's a tough fight for me. I think for the first time in my career, I'm the experienced guy compared to him. Normally, I'm fighting guys who are more experienced than me. Like you say, he's 9-0, coming off Contender Series. I think he's going to have that undefeated confidence, where you've never lost before. You've got that undefeated confidence. If you're undefeated, you know what that feeling's like. And yeah, I think overall it's a great test. He obviously, from what I've watched and what I've seen, he's obviously prefers the striking. But it's a mixed martial arts contest, so I'm not going to go in there thinking it's going to be a striking match. I'm a mixed martial artist, and I'm sure he is too. Both coming off the Contender Series, I feel like it's prospect versus prospect. One of us is going up, and yeah, it's a good test at the right time.
And so do you think your advantage here is the grappling?
I don't. I think being a complete mixed martial artist, not just a grappler versus striker, a lot of people mix that up just because I got 2 submission wins, but I truly think being a complete mixed martial artist in there is what my advantage is.
Do you have, obviously, you're looking for the win on March 1st, but do you have a call-out prepared, a next opponent in mind that you'd like? You obviously don't want to overlook Danny Barlow, but do you usually have a call-out prepared for when you win?
No, I don't, and I had never had, to be honest. I never really looked past my opponent. I'm really focused on Danny Barlow on March 1st. I haven't even thought about March 2nd, if I'm honest. Like, literally, I don't look past the date, and I don't look past the opponent. I think the call-outs and stuff like that probably only makes sense when I start hitting that top 15, because there's only 14 people above me that I want to fight because I want to be a world champion. So right now I'm in the UFC, I've got to go through whoever they give me. I've got to prove myself, so I hit that top 15, and that's when I think the call-outs will start to come. But right now, like I said, I'm focused on the opponent, and I'm focused on just cementing myself in the UFC and breaking that top 15.
And as you mentioned, UFC London's obviously coming up on March 22nd. Was the expectation to be on that card, or is this just how the cards were dealt that you've ended up on the Vegas?
I feel like this is just how the cards were dealt, to be honest. I expected, when I didn't get one at the end of the year, I was expecting they're probably going to hold me to the March card. But when they come through with March 1st, I was more than happy. The earlier the better for me, because I wanted 3 last year. So when they come through and said March 1st, I didn't hesitate to think. I actually prefer fighting abroad anyway. Most of my career has been fighting abroad. So it benefits me, and it was earlier. If it would have been later, I probably would have been complaining. I wanted as soon as possible. I wanted 3 last year. I didn't manage to get that. So the earlier, better this year for me. March 1st is ideal. Fighting abroad is ideal, and then I can come back and watch the fights on the UK card. So.
Yeah, and how comes you do prefer fighting abroad?
I think it's just what I'm used to. Most of my career has been fighting abroad, so I think that experience of fighting in other countries and fighting abroad is normal to me. Whereas a lot of other fighters probably fight in their hometowns for most of their career, and then the odd occasion they fight abroad. But I'm the other way around. I spent most of my career abroad, so it's just good for me. I like to get away. I like to disconnect and focus on the job at hand. And being abroad, I don't have to worry about the home comforts in a way. I don't have to worry about family or anything like that. I go away and I feel like I'm going to do a job and I'm going to work. So maybe that's what it is. But I do think it's just, I've had more experience of fighting abroad, and I think that benefits. I've had more benefit from that.
Yeah, like you said, especially when you're at Brave, you were fighting a lot internationally. You've had quite a storied amateur career, and so to tell us a bit about your journey, how you got into MMA.
Um, to be fair, it was actually my parents put me and my younger brothers into MMA, and they've done it because as we were getting older and becoming teens, like I was a teenager, they were a little bit younger, but as we were getting to that age where we could go out and be with our friends in the street and just causing trouble, as kids do, they obviously wanted us to be able to defend ourselves, but the more time we were spending in the gym, the less time we were out on the streets causing trouble. I feel like that's the kind of avenue they went down. So ever since, yeah, my parents put us into it, I just was like a sponge. I just picked things up really quickly and fell in love with it. And had my first competition at 16 and never looked back, but I got pretty obsessed. I don't know what it is. I just fixated on it, and then nothing else mattered to me. School, like partying, none of that. I didn't care about any of that. I just cared about making it to the UFC. As soon as I had my first fight at 16, all I cared about was making it to the UFC. And yeah, I've been tunnel vision ever since. And I don't know if my parents ever thought I'd turn into a professional fighter from it, but it definitely kept me off the street. So they got one of the good out of it.
Yeah, that's great. And obviously, last fight picked up a great submission win at UFC Manchester. A big night, big pay-per-view, fighting on home soil. I know you said you prefer fighting in a different country, but how was that night for you?
Oh, it was amazing. It was kind of like a redemption story, like getting to fight. Obviously, the London card, my first UFC fight didn't go my way, and that was on home soil. So being able to fight in Manchester on home soil and to get the win was amazing. It was kind of like the dream come true that I expected in London, but London had to go the way it had to go for me to go on to what I'm doing now at welterweight. So yeah, it was a dream come true. And don't get me wrong, I love fighting abroad, but I also love fighting at home. I don't know, there's like different it's a different kind of mentality when I go abroad. I feel like I'm focused more and don't have to worry about other like things in my life. But when I'm at home, I do have to worry about them. But the other side of that is I'm at home, so all the fans are supporting me. There's pros and cons to both. But Manchester that was incredible, to be honest. And I think the fact that it was like the card, it was on at night time. By the time I was fighting, it was like 12:30. So the arena was packed. Because no one else is like in the it's not like when it's on a normal time, because then people are chilling, miss the first fights, and then they go in for the main card. Whereas when I was fighting at 12:30, the arena was packed already. No one was in the pubs and stuff before, so it was packed, and it was quality to go out there, perform, win in front of a home crowd.
So it was great pay-per-view. We saw a lot of success from the UK fighters. Who do you likely see as the next champion out of the UK?
I would probably have to say, if the Tom Aspinall fight happens with John Jones, I would say Tom Aspinall. Yeah, I would say if that fight's next for him, obviously because there's more surrounding stuff. If that fight happens next, I believe he becomes official world champion. If not him,
yeah.
I think Leon. I think Leon comes back, beats JDM, and then he goes on to fight for the title again after Shavkat and Bilal fight. I think he gets his rematch, or if it's Shavkat, he gets another shot at the title. But it'll be Leon or Tom Aspinall, I reckon, which was great anyway because they were champions before. So.
And do you think that obviously that pay-per-view was a late at night one, so Leon would have been walking out at 4 or 5 in the morning. Do you think that had an effect on his performance that night?
I think only he knows. I definitely wouldn't say it was ideal for any UK guy fighting at that time of night, but only he will know if it affected his performance. And I don't know because I hadn't done it. So I can't say, when I done it or anything like that. So I don't know. Only he would know that answer. But yeah, definitely wouldn't say it was ideal to fight at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning, whatever time he was walking. I was watching it back at the hotel, and I was thinking, I was glad I was sat on the sofa, I sat on the bed chilling. So yeah, only he will know that answer.
And you've obviously found your rhythm in the UFC since moving up to welterweight. What advice do you have for fighters out there that really push their bodies to the limit to make weight?
Again, everyone's doing it, so it's hard to give advice. I definitely feel better now that I've moved up to welterweight, but I had a great career at lightweight. I just think I made lightweight from a young age, and as my body, as I got older, I do think your body develops and stuff like that. So I think for young fighters, just be aware, even if you're winning at the weight class, as you get older, your body is going to develop, and you might start that little bit more. You might get a little bit heavier after every fight, and next thing you're killing yourself to make the weight, because you used to make it maybe 5, 6 years ago. In my case, it was 10 years. Like me making lightweight at 16 is totally different to me making lightweight at 26. So I think it's just be aware of your body as it develops as you get older. But everyone's cutting weight, man, and each to their own. Some people do it and love it. I'm still cutting weight making welterweight. It's just not the amount I was doing getting to lightweight. I was taking a lot more than just water out of my body to get to lightweight, that's for sure.
And obviously looking for the win on March 1st, and not looking ahead of that. But what are the goals for 2025? You said you potentially want to get 3 fights in this year.
Yeah, I want 3 fights this year. I wanted 3 last year. I want 3 this year. 3 fights this year. And I also want to get in the game. That's a goal of mine this year. It's nice to have them small goals. So I would like to get 3 fights this year, my second contract with the UFC, and get in the game. That's my small-term goals. Next year, we'll start breaking that top 15. Yeah,
that sounds great. Obviously, I know you've trained a lot with Michael Venom Page. He's got an interesting fight coming up this weekend against Shara Bullet. How do you see that one going?
I am going to sit back and watch that as a fan. It's been amazing to train with MVP, and he is one of a kind when it comes to striking. So I definitely think that could be his advantage at the weekend. How he strikes, how he moves, how he closes distance. It's unique, and I don't think there's anyone that can kind of replicate that. So I do see that being an advantage. But I just look forward to sitting and watching it, because Shara Bullet he's a great striker as well. So yeah, I'm going to sit back and watch that as a fan. Obviously, I'll be rooting for MVP, fellow UK fighter. But yeah, I think he's looking forward to it as a fan. Like, the way he's a fan of the sport, I think his kind of energy that I've seen from like interviews and stuff building up to the fight looks like he's looking forward to that kind of fight, that striking exchanges. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.